This report examines how millions of fans rejected manufactured music industry gimmicks and chose the raw authenticity of vocalist Jordan. Her unprecedented journey spans from an 8-year-old viral sensation on Norway's Got Talent to her defining moments on America's Got Talent, successfully navigating the transition from child prodigy to an independent adult artist. January 10, 2006, marks the birth of Jordan in Oslo, Norway. Bilingual upbringing eventually led her family from the Middle East to Los Angeles, California, providing a diverse cultural foundation for her eventual artistic development. Singing began at just 18 months old. What followed next established the precise trajectory for her entire professional career. Maternal grandmother introduced the foundational sounds of classic American jazz to the observant toddler, and this is where things changed from the typical childhood experience. Instead of absorbing standard contemporary pop music, Young immersed herself entirely within the complex vocal stylings of Billie Holiday, Washington, and Louis. This early exposure directly shaped her signature vocal style. March of 2014 introduced this classical jazz foundation to a massive global audience. The turning point came when a 7-year-old stepped onto the stage of the local iteration of the popular Norway's Got Talent television franchise. She completely bypassed modern, upbeat pop selections. What followed next stunned both the local judges and the international media landscape. Performing a profoundly haunting rendition of Gloomy Sunday in the distinct style of Billie Holiday, the young vocalist captured immediate worldwide attention. Major international news publications including Time, People, and the Daily Mirror quickly provided extensive, detailed coverage of the remarkable audition. By May of 2014, the 8-year-old talent secured the ultimate victory in the grueling television competition. She claimed the first-place title by delivering a masterful performance of George's classic track Summertime. And this is where things changed regarding the standard public perception of youth performers. Viewers recognized an undeniable, authentic maturity radiating directly from her live television appearances. Millions of global spectators watched this rapid evolution unfold. Highly distinct visual trademark emerged during this initial rise to international fame. The young artist consistently chose to perform completely barefoot across all her major appearances. What followed next sparked widespread discussion among industry professionals and casual viewers alike. This stripped-down aesthetic stood in stark contrast to the heavily stylized nature of the modern entertainment business. The turning point came when revealed the deeply personal origin of this performance choice. 6 years of age marked the moment she befriended a young, shoeless girl, prompting to give away her own footwear out of pure compassion. She later published an illustrated children's book detailing this exact true story. And this is where things changed for her growing. While newer audiences occasionally criticized her unpolished presentation, featuring messy hair and missing childhood teeth, her dedicated supporters viewed these elements as absolute proof of her artistic authenticity. They recognized she remained a genuine creator rather than a carefully packaged product manufactured by corporate record executives seeking quick, effortless financial profits. Sudden international fame naturally generated contrasting viewpoints and intense public scrutiny. Between the years 2014 and 2020, a highly vocal segment of cultural critics ignited what became known as the Old Soul debate. What followed next involved serious discussions regarding appropriate repertoire for juvenile performers. Detractors argued that classic jazz records dealing with profound heartbreak and despair remained entirely unsuitable for a child to vocalize. Academic critiques regarding YouTube child stars labeled her with terms including cyborg and child prodigy. The turning point came when her massive global fiercely defended her artistic integrity against these claims. Supporters countered the negative arguments by highlighting her innate emotional intelligence, asserting that her vocal capabilities completely transcended her biological age. And this is where things changed regarding her expanding digital footprint. Historical blog data from this specific era cited her reaching over 500 million views across the YouTube platform. She simultaneously accumulated an estimated 2 billion views on Facebook. The numbers firmly validated her unique vocal approach. The aftermath of her initial victory typically introduces a dangerous phase for young talents. Standard industry playbooks dictate signing aggressive pop contracts immediately to capitalize on viral momentum. The turning point came when her family executed a completely unorthodox strategy. Her mother and her father, Christian, actively rejected major commercial pop contracts for 6 consecutive years. What followed next demonstrated remarkable restraint in a notoriously ruthless business environment. They intentionally bypassed immediate financial gain to protect her artistic future, and this is where things changed for her long-term career trajectory. The family waited patiently until they could secure a favorable deal allowing her to maintain her authentic jazz and soul identity. They absolutely refused to let corporate entities mold her into a traditional teenage pop sensation. This critical period of independent restraint established a protective barrier around her creative development. She completely avoided the dangerous pitfalls that routinely destroy the careers of young viral stars. The calculated waiting game ultimately preserved her unique musical essence. 5 crucial years of independent artistic development replaced the standard commercial music cycle. From 2014 to 2019, the young vocalist operated outside the major label ecosystem entirely. What followed next involved releasing self-produced acoustic jazz covers and executing high-profile international performances. She notably secured a featured appearance on the television program Little Big Shots in Germany. Turning point came when she prioritized traditional education alongside her growing career. She attended the Oslo School, followed by the Oslo School of Music and Performing Arts, and this is where things changed regarding her technical musical proficiency. She actively expanded her diverse artistic abilities, becoming an accomplished painter while mastering multiple instruments including the piano, violin, guitar, and flute. 2018 marked a significant geographical shift when she officially relocated to Los Angeles, California. This strategic move aimed to further both her academic education and her professional entertainment career. Operating independently allowed her to mature naturally without facing the intense, artificial pressures of typical daily industry demands. January 6, 2020, marked her highly anticipated return to the global television spotlight. A 13-year-old confidently stepped onto the competitive stage of America's Got Talent, The Champions. What followed next her status as a generational vocal talent. She delivered a haunting original jazz arrangement of the beloved Queen anthem Bohemian Rhapsody. Taking on such an iconic rock track always carries significant risk for any performer. Turning point came when her entirely unique slowed-down rendition captured the immediate attention of the live audience. Fans consistently reference a specific statement by the late Freddie Mercury to validate this bold artistic choice. Mercury explicitly instructed others to do whatever they wanted with his music, provided they never made it boring. And this is where things changed for her trajectory. The mesmerizing performance earned her the prestigious Golden Buzzer from Judge. Compilation videos documenting this exact performance routinely attract tens of millions of digital spectators. The Talent Recap channel's specific compilation alone currently sits at over 17 million views on the platform. High-profile industry recognition rapidly accelerated following the massive television exposure. Heavyweight television personalities like and legendary music producer Quincy Jones publicly praised her exceptional vocal abilities. What followed next ended her 6-year holding pattern of independent operation. August of 2020 saw the 14-year-old artist officially sign a major label deal with Republic Records under the Universal Music Group umbrella. The turning point came a few months later on November 6, 2020. She officially released her major label debut single titled Million Miles to eager global audiences. And this is where things changed regarding her production value. The project featured collaboration with the Grammy-winning Norwegian production duo consisting of Tor and the acclaimed producers co-wrote Million Miles alongside another prominent track titled Seventh Heaven. Beyond the recording studio, she actively utilized her massive platform for philanthropic efforts. She successfully raised vital funds for various environmental causes and children's charities, stating publicly that singing remains as important as breathing to her. Public audiences observed a graceful transition into young adulthood as her career progressed forward. November of 2023 provided a highly visible milestone when she appeared as a debutante at Bal Debutantes in Paris. What followed next signaled a fascinating shift regarding her structural business operations. Recent music industry commentary spanning from 2024 to 2026 highlights a strategic pivot away from major corporate structures. The turning point came when she formally associated herself with the independent imprint Kite Records, and this is where things changed regarding her creative autonomy. Reclaiming independent status allowed her to exercise total control over her rapidly maturing auditory aesthetic. Operating entirely under this independent banner, she systematically released powerful new singles including Love, Don't Let Me Go, and What a Wonderful World. The strategic business maneuver proved incredibly successful for her brand development. She completely bypassed the notorious burnout phase that heavily plagues the majority of former child stars. Protecting her acoustic, vocal-driven roots allowed her to maintain a sustainable, thriving presence in the modern global music economy. September 24, 2024, delivered a definitive statement regarding her evolving musical direction. She independently released the original single Bad Valentine through a creative collaboration with Grammy-winning songwriter and producer Gad. What followed next showcased a distinct stylistic evolution that perfectly bridged her classical jazz roots with a sharp contemporary edge. The celebrated track leaned heavily into an early 2000s Amy-style sound. The turning point came as her digital footprint continued expanding exponentially across major streaming platforms. Independent video essays reported her crossing 129 million streams by early 2026, and this is where things changed the standard narrative of industry success. Her entire career serves as a demonstrating patience and rigorous artistic integrity. While the modern landscape constantly demands artists chase fleeting algorithmic trends, she consciously chose to remain the barefoot princess carrying an old soul. Trusting her own voice generated a deeply loyal audience. Unfiltered authenticity, rather than manufactured gimmicks, forms the absolute foundation of her enduring professional triumph.